Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to go ahead and cut up these two sheets that I made in the previous video and make them into cards. This one here was screaming at me to be oh goodness, what are they called? Slimline cards. And so I want to get those cut up. I brought in some colors, and I just discovered that I don't have wild wheat that I thought I did have, so I'm gonna have to get some of that on my next order. And I punched out some sentiments that I'm gonna use here because I just thought this was fun. This comes from the Beautiful Shapes dies. Now I actually don't know, let me check and see if they're still available. Any label punch or die or whatever will work. Let's see if they're still available. Beautiful Shapes. No, this specific die set is not available. But any die set will work, or labels that you want to do. And then I have stamped and punched out these from the Handmade Hug stamp set, and I decided I was going to stamp this in the green, and then I have the matching punch that went with it, so I just have those punched and ready for the other page. So I'm going to set that aside. So I brought some ribbon and some gems, so I'm not really sure how this is all going to go together. I was thinking this gingham ribbon might look good because it's black and white and it can kind of go with anything. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up my card bases, and I'm going to use colored card base. So I think the best thing to do with this is we can do a 6x6 square. So I'm going to cut all of these down to a 6x6 square. Let's see. I gotta get my arm to reach further. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this down to 6x6. And these extra pieces can always be used for other projects. Okay, 6x6. To get a slimline, you need a square of whatever size you're going to use. So, and then I'm going to score it at 3. So I guess this would be considered a mini slimline. And then we have that. So I'm going to do that with each one of these. And I thought it would be just kind of fun to have use the colors that we used in the stamps as the cardstock for this. Score that. I know I can get at least 4 cards out of this for the slim lines. And I don't have slimline envelopes, but they can be easily made, and if we have time, I'll show you how we can make an envelope for them. Okay. Now we'll score this at 3. Alright, so we have 4 card bases. Now these are now folded. They are now 6x3. So I need to cut this so this will fit. So if it's going to be 3, I'm gonna do a wide border. I'm gonna do 2.5. I'm gonna cut 2.5 on this end, the long end. Okay, there's one, and then I can turn this, and this should be 6 inches. We will need to trim it down a little bit. In fact, so if we're doing a 1/2 inch, the way I've cut this is so that you have a 1/2 inch around. So we will need to cut these at 5.5. Let's do this one at 5.5. Okay, there's a couple pieces for my slim lines. And then this needs to be cut at 5.5, and I think I'll just go ahead and cut this strip now. That could be really fun to add to cardage. And then I'm going to cut these down to 2.5. So this is just a really simple mini slimline design. Cut it here. All right, and another piece you could use for something else. So all we need to do, not sure where my bone folder is, so I'm prepping for a class too. So, okay, so I'm just going to get these pressed down really good. Alright, so the first one, it has a really big border, and so I need to decide, do I want this along the bottom or along the side even? Because we're going to have this we could put that right there in the center. Not sure about that ribbon. Maybe look and see what else I have here. I have some of this left. A lot of what I have, the gingham is available, but a lot of what I have is no longer available. I think I kind of like the neutral on here. Okay, so I think that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually flip these over and get, let's see, what do I have? My score tape? I'm get my score tape here. Decide which pieces I want on these cards. Probably really doesn't matter, but the way that we've cut it, we've got 6 cards we can make, so I'm just going to go ahead and flip this over, and I'm just going to run it through the center. Maybe we'll play with both kinds and see which one we like, but for this bright color, I kind of think the neutral is best. So I'm out of frame again, aren't I? There we go. I'm just going to add some score tape here to help hold that ribbon. And then remove the backing paper. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and kind of center this on the page. I think that's what I want to do, is just have it centered. So once I get it about where I want it, I'm just going to flip that over, and that score tape should hold it. And then I think I probably only needed about that long. Okay, so I've got them both down here. I'm just going to check my front. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some more score tape over the top. It'll just help hold it in place. And I will remove this to add it to my card base here. And I'm going to grab some glue dots so that I can get this ribbon to hold down a little bit more. I'm just going to pick it up with my Take Your Pick tool. Stick it under there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this, and I'm going to do that with each one. Oops, we'll take this off. Okay, and then I'm just going to center this on this card here. There we go. Then that's going to go in the center with a greeting. I think I'm going to pop it up. And I kind of want to do, I think I want to use wild wheat and my blending brush. Let's see what I do with my wild wheat. And I think I'm going to do that with all, I have 4 cards out here, so I'll do it with all 4 of them, the same color. Now I haven't practiced this, so we're creating on the fly. Okay. This specific die, and if you have one that does that, I think this will work. I want to add some of this wild wheat on there really lightly, just to kind of accentuate. I'm just going to add it around the edges just to kind of accentuate that embossing that's on there. And I'm going to do it to all 4. And I'm just doing it really lightly. Okay, that's good for me. And I think I need to grab my go-to greetings. And I'm gonna make these all thank you cards. So I'm gonna see which one fills that. That's too big. This one right here, probably. And my Memento ink, and I'm going to go ahead and just stamp thank you on each one of these so that they're ready. Okay, so those are stamped. All right, so I think I want to pop these up. Yes, I do. Let me grab some dimensionals. There we go. Okay, so for this, I'm going to pop this one up. I'm going to pop them up on these cards. Put one in the center. That is so cute and fun. Okay, let's do these other ones. Let's go ahead and I'm going to get the dimensionals on these. Center and center. Okay, so these are ready. Now we just need to grab 3 more of these pieces. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to flip these over. And get some score tape on the end there. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and get our ribbon attached. And I think I'm going to do my glue dot before I get this all the way down. So where my glue dot's right here. And I'm just going to kind of guess where the center is, sort of, and just kind of put that on there and pull it up that way. And that'll help hold it in place too while I'm getting that stretched over. And then put some more, well, this can sit upside down for now while I'm doing that. My glue dot will hold that in place. Okay, we've got that one on, and one more. Then the inside, I'm just going to put a piece of white. I don't know if I'm going to stamp anything on the inside. I could use some of these strips to kind of decorate the inside. Let me see if I can get you. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put some more score tape over the ends here just to make sure they hold down. One more. And then we'll see if we want to add any gems to these. I'm going to remove the release paper over the ribbon. Grab my card. Get this glued on. Looks pretty good, and then we'll attach our thank you. Okay, and the next one, so this card base is this way. I had this thing sitting upside down, so I have to make sure I get that lid on, otherwise it's going to leak out. Because it's very warm here today. It's like 80 degrees or something, which is hot for here. It can get hotter. But. Okay, put the little thank you on there. That one, and one last one we're going to do on the boho blue. Okay. All right, so the gems I picked out, I'm going to clean up some of this debris here. So we have 4 cards. I have to cut more bases to use up my other 2 strips, but I have enough to make more. So here are the 4 cards. And I think that brown trim, the embroidered ribbon, worked very nicely on those cards. So I brought out the in colors, the dots. I love these dots. So I thought it would be kind of fun just to put some of these. Now on this, since I didn't grab a piece that had blue on it, I think maybe I'll use some blue dots. So let's see. They have pretty good glue on them. Okay, I think I'm gonna put maybe one right there. I'm gonna put one right there. And then the smaller one right there. I think I'm gonna put it right there. So cute. This one, let's do, let's play with this color. I'll put one right there. I could put that there or right there. Let's do that right there. That's fun. And then let's do the gray on this one. And then the last one we will use use this one. Sorry, I do not have the colors memorized. I'm going to put that one right there. I think that would look good there. Maybe we'll put that one right there. There we go. Simple cards. I just need to put whites in them, but I'm not going to do it on this video. Some simple, ready to go thank you cards that are just fun. These are so fun. Okay, so the next stamp that the one that we did is this one right here. And I am thinking I just want to do a traditional card with these. So I brought in Moody Mauve and Bubble Bath, and I just want to cut these up into standard card bases, or card fronts, but I want to matte them on these two colors. So I do need to get a couple pieces of white cardstock. So what I'm going to cut these into, they're going to make 4 cards. So let's cut those first. So our card base, well, let's do it this way. Our card base, we'll get 2 card bases out of this. So we're going to cut it at, let's see, which way do I want to score it? If I score this way, they'll fold that way. So I think I want to score it at 5.5. And I want to cut it at 4 1/4. There's 2. And we'll do the same thing for this other one. 5.5. scoring it at 5 1/2 and cutting it at 4 1/4. Okay, there's our two card bases. So we know that our cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it's 5 1/2 inches tall by 4 1/4 inches wide. So our mats need to be 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut 2 of each. So I'm going to cut this down to 4. And then 5 1/4. Okay, there's 2 bubble bath mats. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut this down to 4. And then turn it and cut it at 5 1/4. And again, 5 1/4. Slide it down. Okay, there's our mats. So now we need to cut this down. And we need it to be 5 1/2 inches tall. No, we need it to be 5 inches tall by 3 3/4. So on the long side, we're going to cut it down to 5. Turn it this way. I got a little boo-boo on that edge, so since I'm going to have to cut a strip off, I'll cut that strip off. I'm going to do this at 5. And I'm going to slide it down and cut it again at 5. Okay. That strip can be used too for something. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it at 3 3/4. I want to do this in 3 3/4. There's 1. And we'll do this in 3 3/4. Okay, there's 2 of those, and we'll do the same thing here. Cut this down at 3 3/4. And then I'm going to cut, and I'm flipping it because I'm kind of looking at the edges what I want on my cards and just kind of flipping it and deciding there. All right, so there's our card bases now, or my fronts. Now I did bring this, and I don't know if this is available anymore either. You can look. Okay, let's see if that is available. Something similar to it, but I don't see this one specifically. So it doesn't really matter. Whatever you like for your card bases. So I kind of want to do the same thing. I kind of want to wrap these with the ribbon. And I just need to decide. It probably doesn't matter which card I put on. So I'm going to have it matted like that. So I just need to decide where I want the ribbon. Okay. I think I want to switch these because this has, the yellow will stand out a little bit better on there since it only has one of these big flowers. There we go. Okay, so I had thought about putting it down towards the bottom here and then putting one of these on here, and I just have to decide how I'm going to put it like that. Well, it probably would need to be up a little higher. Maybe we just need to center it. I think that's what we need to do. We just need to center it. Now I am going to stamp on these, so I need 4 of these stamped. And I'm going to actually use the sentiment from the stamp set. I'm going to use Today We Celebrate You. These fit very nicely in these punched punched ones. So I'm going to bring in my mat here and get that. And we only need 4. And I will stamp 2 this way and 2 this way. So we'll have them sitting differently on the card. I'm just going to rub this just to get some of that sticky off there so we get a good stamp impression. And then we'll do 2 stamped this way. And 1 more. Okay. We've got those stamped. Now we can assemble those cards. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to run this ribbon through the center here, and so I'm going to need to put some score tape on all of these. Flip these around. And I'm just going to kind of put them on the back on the center. And then I'm ready to kind of run these along the center here. So I'm gonna put, I need this, so I'll need that. Peel it off. Actually, I don't think I'll need a glue dot on this because it's not as long. Yep, that'll be just fine without a glue dot. So, and then put that one aside. We're kind of doing assembly line here. Okay, there's that one. See if I can get these on without sticking them to each other. There's that one, and one more. Okay, now we can add them to our mats. Get my glue. Okay, that looks good. I cannot do cards without getting glue all over me. Okay. Just trying to get that straight. That looks good. And I didn't cover this. You don't have to. It just makes me feel better when it does. But this is fine too because there's glue going over it. It's going to be stuck down to a card. My table, it'll hopefully be cleaned up tomorrow. I clean up so I can make a mess. Okay, now we can get these added to our card base. Okay, do we want this? I think I want it that way. Okay, there's that one. We'll get the sentiments added after we get these all added. So I want this one this way. Nope, it's got to be that way. So I'm just gonna. When you're stamping and making your own papers, one thing I've learned, sometimes I stamp pages and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I really care for that. But once you cut them up and get them on a card and decorate it, it's really, really pretty. They always turn out nice. Okay, and one more. This one doesn't really matter, but I'm going to have it that direction. Just because I got glue on my hands, so now my hands are sticky. All right. Those are down. Now the last thing I want to do is I want to attach these. Well, not the last thing. Oh, those are so pretty. Okay. We're going to add dimensionals to the back of these. So these two are this way up. So I'm going to do that. And these two are this way up. Now with this Celebrating You sentiment, you could, in the inside of the card, you could stamp a happy birthday sentiment or congratulations, something like that. Okay, so let's get these added. Do it this way so that we have a different orientation for each color. I really love the way these cards are turning out. It's amazing what, well, the paper I think turned out really nice too, but also the sentiment strip or whatever you want to call it that you add, and just that ribbon just I think adds some extra to it. We're going to add a little bit more to it, although I don't know if we need to. I think those might be good just the way they are. Okay, and then this one. Oh, these turned out so nice. And I didn't prep these ahead of time. We're just winging it. So I did bring out some gems. This is from a paper pumpkin. I didn't end up using them on that kit, but I saved them. I'm thinking we might add a couple of these. These are nice too, but I'm thinking these right here. So let's add a few of those. Yep. I'm going to add 3 to each card. And I'll put, oh, where'd that one go? And put that right there. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Goodness sakes, that turned out nice. I'm loving that. Let's see, we'll put one over here, one over here, and put one right there. So pretty. Who doesn't like some bling? I think that just finished the card. I want one there. So I need to complete my triangle right there. All right. So here are the cards that we finished from our stamped pages today. We've completed on this video a total of 8 cards. So we have 4 from this really fun stamp set. And then we have these 4 from this really fun stamp set. All right, well, thank you for joining me. I hope you get inspired and create some stamped cards, and I will catch you on the next one.